Thanks for joining me. And owing to the fact that I actually mentioned two of Boris Karloff's movies last week, I'm going to give Boris the week off. And he deserves it. Tonight's Zombie Night. But I wanted to kind of pick some zombie movies that might not immediately come to mind. There are quite a few here. Quite a few I don't have that I would like to have. But, they've got all of the, tried and true classics. But at any rate, I'm going to start the evening off with what is, I believe, the first ever zombie movie starring Bela Lugosi. And this is the premium edition of White Zombie, which was the film that Lugosi made right after making the original Dracula for Universal. This was actually an independent film, independently produced, but they rented some sets and, the permission to use the back lot at Universal, so they actually ended up using a lot of the sets and trappings from both Dracula and Frankenstein in this film. Lugosi is once again sort of a master hypnotist, as he, a quality that he also brought to Dracula in the stage versions of that story. He really kind of hit on the hypnotist aspect real hard, and to the point where it kind of became part of his persona. Of course, the stereotypical thing is to see him with his great staring eyes and those hand gestures that he would have, and he's vampire, I want your body, and all that kind of weird stuff. But so he certainly brings that to this film, in addition to commanding an entire army of zombies to do his bidding, to grind up the sugar cane, but also to fulfill his every whim, whatever he might care to have them do on his behalf. In this particular case, there's a young woman to whom he takes a fancy, and sort of conspires with another fellow, another sort of wealthy gentleman on this, or anything but a gentleman on this island, to give her the zombie powder and make her a zombie, convincing this fellow that that's the only way he's ever going to gain her, to possess her. But the fellow, having, gone ahead and taken the bait and doing so, soon realizes that it's not all it's cracked up to be, that she has no will of her own, that she doesn't feel any love for him. She doesn't even really sort of acknowledge him on any sort of intellectual or emotional level. He merely possesses her body, and it's not enough for him. Well, a little too late coming to the dawn, but. And then, of course, Lugosi, lets it be known that not only does he have, rather a fancy for the woman, but for the fellow as well. So it's actually one of the earlier examples in the golden age of horror, long before The Bride of Frankenstein, where bisexual elements are infused into the story and the dynamics between the characters. Anyway, so I recommend it very highly if anybody hasn't seen it. And the premium version is the best. Of course, you can always catch it on Turner Classic Movies around Halloween. But this is the Roan Group Archival Entertainment presentation. And it's got commentary by a Bela Lugosi scholar. So it's very interesting, and lots of other interesting, extras. Next, we jump forward to the early 1970s. And this is also, along with White Zombie, this is also a film that's available in a lot of super cheapo editions. This is the best quality edition I'm aware of, and doesn't mean that it has a lot of extras. It doesn't, really. But it has a very nice, clean, widescreen print of Horror Express. Now, first time I saw Horror Express was back in the mid-1970s. Was laying in bed with my girlfriend with the television, the other side of the bedroom. We're eating chocolate chip cookies and watching Elvira, and she was showing Horror Express. And why do we watch Elvira? Well, we watch Elvira for the gags, of course, and for a couple other reasons. But here she's showing this movie, and this movie actually scared both of us. We had never seen it before, and it involves some sort of, this is rather complicated, an ancient alien creature inhabiting the frozen carcass of a pre-man mammal. And they thaw him out, he jumps out of the ape's body, and starts body jumping into other people's bodies. And little by little, he moves his way, all takes place on a train, and he moves his way through the train, absorbing people's knowledge. And the way he does that is by gazing into their eyes and causing their eyes to bleed and literally sort of sucking their knowledge and experiences out of them through their eyes to the point where their eyes are rendered white, no pupils at all. It's very creepy looking. And then there's a point during, about 3/4 through the film, where he's being threatened, this alien thing, with exposure and destruction by Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, who I haven't mentioned nearly enough. And the creature calls upon his army of dead corpses lying all over the train to come back to life with their pupilless eyes and their bleeding faces to wreak havoc and mayhem on Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Winding things up, we want to lighten things up a little bit, maybe, yeah? So this is my favorite zombie comedy. There may be others, I know there are others out there, but to this point in time, this is my favorite. Shaun of the Dead, and it's just so funny. It's so well done. The people who put this together took the whole zombie genre thing really seriously. It's not the zombies by and large that are funny. It's the people being in the situation, which is basically a Night of the Living Dead situation where, they wake up and find half the world's turned into zombies or whatever, walking the streets. And mayhem and hilarity ensue. I can't say enough good things about this film, and those of you out there who have seen it know what I'm talking about, and those of you who haven't seen it, you're really missing a really good bet. Go rent it, and this has got all sorts of really fun extras on it. Just great. Probably my favorite extra is the plot holes feature, where there are 3 moments from the film which require a little more explaining about, they're watching the movie going, oh, but what happened with so-and-so or whatever. And they, using storyboards and things, and some very clever and witty commentary, explain what might have happened in those moments. It's very cool. Well, anyway, so that's the 3 for the evening, and Beyond that, I'll thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Pleasant dreams. Have a great weekend.